Because I knew that was a king, right, when I was a kid, for whom people was enslaved, then I knew when I talked to myself when I was 18 and I had to psychoanalyze myself like I'm doing now, and I had to realize that I had took myself off of my path. See, that's why like I said earlier in one of these videos, I was telling my cousin every time I realized that I wasn't who I thought I was, I had to learn how to be who I needed to be. So that's what I'm trying to get my friend to say. How do adaptation look once it's applied? So if I adapt, right, to something that you can't understand, why would you question my sanity when I'm using my mind in the civil and criminal courthouses in Seminole and Orange counties in the state of Florida, as well as in the federal courthouse in the Middle District of Florida? Like, if I'm using my mind and then you telling me something that is not true, right, or not legally factual, and I have learned the law, the procedures of the law, because I always knew the law. Because like I say, before I do something, I consult the law. See, like, but now I realize where your master has led you astray. See what I'm saying? Because he's teaching you or she's teaching you from their understanding of someone else's journey. See what I'm saying? So if you are not a visionary, how can you see a vision that is written if you do not apply the elements of the written vision? You're not going to see it. That's like a blueprint. So if Dr. Martin Luther King, for whom was a slave in all essence, right? See, he was just like Jesus. See, this is what I'm trying to get people to understand. Jesus, right, had a king. His name was Herden, right? However, I may be to you saying it wrong, so I'm gonna spell it. It's Herod. That was Jesus' king, okay? But Pontius Pilate was a governor of Rome. A governor of Rome was more powerful than the king of the Jews. See, so if you're looking at title, a king is nothing to a governor in the biblical sense once the kingdom has failed. So what they did was King Herndon ran up against Caesar. Caesar's army defeated and depleted his army and went and took his people, right, as property. Jesus was part of the property. See, that's why it says that when Pilate heard that Jesus was a Galilean, right, that because he was from Galilee, he knew that he was under the jurisdiction of Herden, right? Now, that's court lingo, right? Now, if I am in court where the jurisdiction gives me the right to either rise to the occasion or fall as a subject to my oppressor, the king, right? Now, I know that because now I'm reading why my kingdom is enslaved. I'm reading it in the Bible. Now, if I believe I'm a king, right? Well, then the king was over your God. It's in the scriptures. So your Lord and Savior was property of two people. He was property of King Herden, who was property of Caesar. right? But it's right there in the scriptures, but you don't want to see the crime that the high priest Caiaphas, right? The Pharisees, the chief priests, the high priests, the scribes, and the elders was not afraid of the king. They was afraid of Caesar, because Caesar was their God. That's who they feared. Now, you all who are slaves, who have been taught to believe in a story that's telling you in all things ye should get understanding, is now on trial for what you believe. And because I read the Quran, I see now that the Prophet Muhammad, for whom couldn't do what I did, but he could write like I can write, and he could read like I could read, saw the importance of writing it so that you could see what he saw. See, basically what you're doing is you're reading the mind of the Prophet Muhammad, but now you're selling it to people who are poor. So now you're using their position to mess with their mind. See, so now you got them ready to die because you don't even know how to prepare a place for them to live. See, that's what I'm trying to tell my daughter. See, you got me stuck between you, my wife, and these people, right? But what I'm telling everybody is that if I let one of these pieces go, two pieces gonna suffer.